Can I complete State of Decay for the first time in 2023?
Oh wow, he's getting absolutely decimated there, isn't he? Maybe I should help him.
Obviously I help him out, but it seems my mate has a bit of a bite fetish.
Jesus, my guy's been bit more times than a bloody... Insert something funny in there, I guess.
Ah yes, the IKEA of comedy. I'll set it up, but you gotta put it together yourself.
Let's try my dodge technique. Oh, it doesn't work as well on this game as it does in State of Decay 2.
I continued to clear the area of the undead, but my mate has a tendency of getting in the way.
Looked like I decked him.
But no matter how many times I tried, I wasn't able to repeat that action. The game suggests we crouch to avoid being detected, and that goes about as well as it usually does.
Look, we're synchronized beating. Oh, wow. I mean, obviously I'm better than you, but you know.
We then get to the Rangers station, and there's a couple of lads hanging out. They ask if I'd be willing to climb to a high place and get the lay of the land. We then hear some gunshots in the distance and rush to their aid.
Where there's guns, there's... guns, I guess. Yeah, I want a gun.
Although on the way I do misjudge the distance and kind of fall down a cliff. Luckily my ankles are made of carbon fibre. I run to the person's aid, but there's like 2 zombies at best. And I really don't understand why the bloody hell she needs our help.
Why am I helping her? She's got the gun. I've just got a fucking piece of stick, like.
It's proper daft, like she's not even in trouble. I reckon she just wanted to flex her skills.
Again, this woman has got a beast of a shot. Why am I here with my stick, like?
So after we rescue the not so damsel, I become her in order to gain access to her greatest asset.
Now I've got a gun.
Although I probably should have left the NPC to handle the firepower. We get back to the ranger station. However, everyone inside has had their guts ripped out.
We gotta at least check the place. Somebody might have survived.
I mean, look at the state of the place, but I doubt it very much.
He's gone.
Really? You had to run all the way over there and check his pulse? Are you serious? Look at the state of the guy!
Inevitably, the dead reanimate, and the two of us just stand there and don't even react. The game finally tells me to save Ed, but I suspect it's too little too late and decide to go for mercy. But my shooting's been less than desirable, so this big lad steps in with a piece of 2x4. Ed actually survives his run-in with the zombie, but he's not in a good way and we have to escape. But first I raid the dead of all of their bullets. We gotta leave the mountain, but it's fair to say it's a good old trek. So I stick a waypoint onto a nearby car and make a move.
You know what they say, teamwork makes the dream work. Hey.
I get in the pickup and you'll be glad to know even in this game the cannon fodder sits in the back. Either the carpentry is much better or the cars are much weaker in this game.
Can't drive through fences with it, but that's alright.
We then make our escape with a death-defying stunt.
Oh my god, I can't believe we made that jump.
But little did I know there was actually a horde chasing us down.
You know what, I'm gonna have a go at these. Look, I'm just gonna practice my sharpshooting skills. Come on, bud. This way, this way, this way, this way.
But no matter how many times I shoot, I can't trick the horde into running off the edge of the bridge. And what annoys me the most about that is the zombies are actually just smarter than me. We continue driving down the mountain and we get a radio message from Lily Ritter. We need sanctuary and Ed needs some serious medical attention due to all the biting. She agrees to help us and tells us the location of her base. So we arrive, but one of their knobheads ain't happy they're taking in refugees. And to be honest, you can't really blame him. At the end of the day, one of us is literally infected with the zombie virus. And in order to win him around, I agreed to go on a medical supply run to try and save Eddie Boy's life. But before I go, I raid them of their supplies, mainly interested in their Molotovs. Obviously, I leave as loud as possible and steal their brand new pickup.
I feel like proper American.
And on the way, I come across our first wandering horde, so decide to test out those Molotovs I borrowed. But I wish I was warned about this zombie who literally tanks the molly to the face and walks away with no injuries.
Why is he getting too close to me?
And you'll be glad to know I'm still shooting worse than the NPCs. Moving on, I get to my destination and I once again have to climb to a tall place. I spot a veterinary clinic in the distance that is yet to be raided and radio in for a bit of backup. And I'm explicitly told not to bring a car as they're too valuable and extremely noisy. And the last thing we want is a horde of Zeds storming our location.
Oh, for Christ's sake, how is that not destructible?
But I've never been great with authority, and the last thing I want to do is carry a load of heavy shite back to base.
What did I say? No cars.
Shut up, you prick.
You're the newbie, so you get a bust in the window.
Bust in your face, you fat-headed prick.
Seeing as he's being such a twat about the noise, I bust in 3 windows with unsuppressed gunfire. I then find some medical supplies, then clear out an approaching horde. And that's when I notice something that's not in the second game.
Oh, that's interesting. I can barricade windows. Didn't know you could do that. I'm not gonna bother doing it. I got a fucking gun, like. Oh, you were lucky, love. I almost shot you in the face.
And apparently my searching skills are not up to standard.
You literally just search in the same place that I just searched, like, honest to God.
After we've searched everything, Alan wants us to carry all these heavy rucksacks back to base. But I'm like, nah, fuck that, mate. There's a reason we mine dead dinosaurs for over 100 years.
Hey, dipshit. Trying to be sneaky here.
Yeah, no, just get in the fucking car.
And I guess they don't appreciate my attempt of vehicular manslaughter.
Losing trust. Reckless driving. Oh, wait, is that even a thing in this game?
Well, fuck them, they'll have to make their own way back to base. Meanwhile, I do what I do best and mow down a horde of wandering zombies. But it seems they ain't gonna bother moving unless I'm holding their hand. So we start jogging back to base, but it's kind of obvious my woman definitely skipped Pilates.
Honestly, this rucksack's heavy, like.
Go easy. You're gonna kill yourself like that.
Well, I wouldn't be killing myself if I could just use a pissing car.
And guess which silly fucker suffers from that decision? Muggins over here, innit?
Oh, great, I've just been bitten. Nice one, mate. Wouldn't have got bitten in a car, would I?
It might be a little bit too little too late, but eventually Alan's friend gets bored of jogging. But Alan's not happy and pisses off on his own. And I say fuck that old bastard and steal a car that's parked nearby. And it's so much better than the last car. Look at this cool decal. You'll be glad to know we get back to base without even a single road traffic collision. I then give Lily the meds, but that cheeky minx has double-crossed me. You see, she's got her own illness and wants to use the spare meds for her own purposes. What a conniving bitch. So to cool off, I head out to search for more weaponry. And because this is the same map that I've played in State of Decay 2, I know exactly which way to go. But seeing as this is canonically before the second game, me searching this gun shop means that Terry can't search it in the future. Either that or someone's returned to put back all of the AK-47s. I find a half-decent stash, then realise we have some neighbours hanging out in the house opposite. So I decide to be neighbourly and pay them a visit. You know, bring them a cup of sugar, maybe an incendiary shotgun shell or two, jump face first through double pane glass to show them who's the real alpha. You know, regular neighbour stuff. It turns out they actually want to join our team of degenerates, and figuring it would piss off Alan, I'm like, yeah, come on boys, let's join the team. I then figure I'd be nice and give them a lift back, and I get into the car in the most unorthodox way imaginable. But remember, I only put things in the back that I don't mind losing.
Oh, look at that. Oh.
They join the team, but I'll be honest, I don't even know what these guys' names are. And on second thoughts, maybe Alan had a point when he said the cars were too noisy.
Oh, the zombies getting in the base. God damn. I thought you were supposed to be doing your job up there, Watchtower.
After a brief fight, I agree to escort Sam to trade some medicine. And let's hope Lily doesn't steal all of these medical supplies for herself.
Honestly, I thought this place was supposed to be like a safe zone. It's terrible. There's no safer than outside, like.
And I keep bloody forgetting that these fences were obviously manufactured in Wakanda.
Oh, Christ. And I can't drive through fences. But that's like my entire driving stack. Gotta drive through everything I can.
I'll be honest, the chosen location to pull off this trade was a little sus. Other than that, the trade goes off with no issues. But that's mainly because there's no warlord mechanic in this game.
Now give me all your shit.
Although I say that, the trade went fine, it was the journey back where everything went to shit.
Okay, so this one might be my bad.
And no matter how much I tried, there was simply no reversing out of this ditch.
Maybe that old bastard was right. We shouldn't be relying on cars.
We jump out, but a lot of zombies have heard the commotion.
Oh my god, that's a lot of dots, and we're going to be bringing a lot of zombies back to base with us.
I've run out of ammo pretty sharpish, so instead just leg it back to the church. At the end of the day, we're always told a problem shared is a problem halved. And also sharing is caring. Basically any excuse so I don't have to fight the undead on my own. And after a quick pinch of other people's supplies, we dig deep and fix the issue that I started on my own.
Shit, I'm dry.
Bit too much information if I'm being honest with you, love, but okay.
After that, I swap characters and head out to clear a local infestation. And you'll notice I've learned from my mistake not taking any loud cars with me. Actually, I'm chatting shit. This is a new character and I want to use her as cannon fodder.
I could use some food.
I mean, you're gonna be food if you don't bloody stamp on that zombie, you prick. Honest to God, woman.
I managed to clear the infestation in the least efficient way possible, by basically running around and shooting everything in the face that chases me.
Oh, for Christ's sake, man.
And by the time I finished, I only have a measly 11 bullets left.
We done it! And it almost nearly cost my entire life.
Thankfully, the area is now completely safe and I can head back to base without any issues.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
Once back, we get word on the radio that there's some army folks visiting town. And thank Christ for that, we're saved. I can't wait to not have to deal with that old miserable prick again. But it turns out the army are actually bigger pricks than Alan, and basically in a not so polite way tell me to fuck off. I respond the only way I know how. But he's got the reflexes of a cat on anabolic steroids.
Literally, I've never known anyone to be so agile.
So I head back with my tail tucked between my legs. After that, Lily once again jumps on the radio and asks if anybody can help out her idiot brother, who's got himself into a spot of bother with a horde of zombies. zombies.
Simple Uber driver mission. What could go wrong?
And if you're suddenly wondering why the car has some pretty serious damage, how about you mind your own bloody business, alright? Jacob's surrounded on a farm, and thanks to my State of Decay 2 experience, I know this map like the back of my ballsack.
Oh, for Christ's sake, why do I keep forgetting you can't crash through fences?
Thankfully, I know a foolproof strategy to help anybody out when in need. Jacob wasn't actually on his own, but with his boyfriend Eli, and I get the impression they're trying to keep this secret from their families. But as of yet, I'm not sure if that's because their families wouldn't approve of a gay relationship, or whether or not their family is actually just one large family and they're trying to prevent some cousin fucking. We have to cause a distraction so Eli can escape safely. I use some firecrackers and it goes perfectly well. Nobody got munched on and in no way did anybody almost die. Although while making my escape, I do notice there's at least 2 cars in perfect condition. So why the bloody hell do they need me to travel all the way out there so urgently?
It's a miracle you lot have survived this long.
He says that, then rolls the car almost immediately. We're both thrown from the vehicle, but that's the least of our concerns. The car is stuck on its side, and we just so happen to have 2 wandering hordes performing a pincer movement on us.
Okay, yeah, we got issues, mate. We got issues.
Issues is putting it really fucking lightly. I managed to shake him off, but Jacob's not as lucky.
Lily, about your brother.
I spray and pay magazines after magazines of bullets into the crowd. If Jacob's not a member of the undead, he's certainly a fucking colander. But that Jacob Ritter, he's built different. After I run out of ammo, I use my machete to charge in. And that crazy little bastard is not just living. He's thriving. Together we finish off the hordes, retreat backwards to collect a new car, then use the new vehicle to free the old one. I mean, come on now, I bloody had to. That's a limited edition paint job. And I can't imagine Los Santos Customs are up and running during the apocalypse.
And everyone knows paint jobs are really important in the end of the world situations.
Although I do have a small issue about getting out of the farmer's field, seeing as the carpenters in Trumbull Valley have been known to dabble in vibranium.
Am I literally just trapped in this field forever?
Thankfully I'm not, but it's fair to say I made a bloody big mess of my exit. But other than that, thankfully we get back to base with no further issues. Okay, other than the car being set on fire, that is. The next day I get the devastating news that Bianca is dead, and 2 enclaves have collapsed.
Wait, was that my fault?
I'll be honest with you, I have no idea who Bianca is, but she can't have been worthy to the cause if she's died so soon. The army jump on the radio and basically let us know not to mess with them while they're doing their mission. They don't mention what that mission is, but they promise to shoot us thoroughly if we get in the way.
Well, the army turn out to be massive pricks. Who'd have guessed it?
I'm on the lookout for building materials so I can upgrade my infirmary. And let's be honest, the best place we can look for building mats is gonna be a building site. And thankfully I found 2 sack loads as well as a massive wrench. But that unfortunately is where everything goes horribly wrong. You see, the zombies in this game either have the nose of a bloodhound or the hearing of a hungover father on a Sunday morning when I'm just trying to watch cartoons.
Jump out the window, love. Why wouldn't you jump out the window?
Oh, I don't know, dickhead. Maybe the zombie trying to climb the other way through it.
I could use some food.
You could use some food, really. Now you want it snack.
Of all the times to fancy a Big Mac, I'd say now has to be up there with one of the worst. The crowd grows quicker than my crypto losses, so I whip out the machine gun and go to town. But you blow up 1 head and 3 more just take its place.
Everybody's dying. Ah, okay, including me apparently. Zombie horde, yeah, I know. I'm dealing with them.
After being bitten more times than a Twilight fanfiction,
Oh, for Christ's sake.
I decide to switch up the tactics.
Get in the car. Get in the car, you prick. Honest to God, woman, do you want to be eaten?
My plan is to use the car to thin out this giant horde that spawned.
Okay, so that was my bad.
But I have an tendency of erratic driving, which this game tends to punish. And if you're wondering why I haven't fully retreated yet, there's still 1 more building mat in that shed. For the most part, the car strat worked great. It certainly worked better than the button bash and pray tactic.
Oh, crap.
Luckily, I do manage to get enough space to gather the last
Oh,
supplies.
crap. Will you fuck off? Honest to God. I don't remember the first episode being this difficult, I'll be honest with you.
And with my life almost certainly shortened thanks to some nondescript blood disease, and only 20 minutes of my life wasted, I head back with the 2 building materials needed. Once I've dropped the mats off, I'm then able to upgrade the medical area. I'm then asked if I can go pick up the doctor from the Wilkerson's place. And you know me, I'm always happy to help out a fella in need.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
Unfortunately, it's well and truly stuck. There's simply no saving it. Or so you'd think, but like I've said previously, I'm an out-of-the-box kind of thinker. So I borrow a hatchback from a nearby neighbourhood, then hit it at high speed to knock it free.
Wait, is it blown up? Alright, okay, yeah, we won't be using that vehicle then. Okay, that's fair enough. Hatchbacks are more fun anyway, aren't they?
So I head further up the mountain, but Lily turns into her usual nagging self.
Don't forget, you still need to go get Doc from the Barrett place.
Yeah, I'm literally heading there now, Lily. Jesus Christ, woman. Give me a chance.
As I arrive, I notice a tall climby thing, and my gamer OCD says I gotta check that box. However, there was only one place to survey, and, well, that's the place I was going.
Well, it was pointless coming up here, wasn't it?
So I start chatting to the Wilkersons, but it seems that Eli isn't in the best shape. That, has got nothing to do with me, of course. There happens to be a massive horde on the way to the Wilkersons' house, and Mickey says he's happy to nail me to a tree and use me as bait. Instead, I decide to help him out by securing their home, then stealing all this special Molotovs. But it's not stealing if I use them for the good of mankind. Although I probably shouldn't use them this close to a wooden house.
Burn, baby. Oh, wow, that is a cool firebomb.
Unfortunately, it turns out these zombies are extremely agile.
I missed my fireball. Influence gained. Sweet.
Thankfully, the zombies make it easier for me by attacking in single file. That is until our first Juggy Boy rocks up to the front porch. In State of Decay 2, these are bullet-sponging nightmares that will wreak havoc on your community.
Can they be burned in this game? Oh. Okay, headshot, fine. Yeah, no problem. I like that idea.
With the horde successfully fought off, we then go to check on Eli. But unfortunately, the doctor doesn't have good news. So I blow his face off.
Okay, Eli is dead. Quite a significant head pop.
Thankfully, the Wilkerson boys were downstairs and didn't see the mess I made, so I leave pretty sharpish. Who'd have guessed a point-blank 7.62 round would make such a bloody mess? So I head back to the church, and you'll be surprised to learn, for the most part, the car's still in working condition. The doc's then able to look at Eddie Boy, and other than him being high as a kite on painkillers, he says he's going to be just fine. And seeing as the woman I've been playing with so far has been beaten within an inch of her life, I take over as Marcus, who has a really unique way of climbing through windows. Marcus spends the next few looting the neighbourhood. Well, that is until he gets attacked by a massive horde. Thankfully, this being America, I found a frag grenade in a sock drawer.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about. That's how you deal with zombie hordes.
I then get word that we have a friend in trouble.
Suppose I can go help a friend.
But I can't even step outside the gate without getting nibbled on.
Christ's sake, why does this keep happening? Honest to God. Good things always happen to bad people. I mean, bad things always happen to good people. Shit, said the quiet bit out loud.
For some reason, I decided to take the car that's fallen apart more than the zombies we've been killing all video. But at the end of the day, it's not the car you drive, it's the help you provide.
Wait, I'm pretty sure I just run over the guy I was supposed to save.
The car explodes, but at least I'm able to save the guy's life. I then become friends with the man I just ran over, and almost blew up. I decide my reward will be his car, and leave him stranded in the apocalypse. The lonely bastards back home always keep telling me I need to create more outposts, and tell me a better outpost than the local Mackie D's. Admittedly, I did have to shoot up the place first, but I'm sure the residents are used to it. Although even after making this place an outpost, certainly didn't make it any safer. I decide the best bet is to Scarpa, so I drop off some supplies back at home, then go and meet Sam because apparently someone's missing. I meet her at a soup kitchen and do my usual alpha thing of throwing myself through a double-paned window. She wants to look for some bloke named Andy, who hasn't been seen since everything kicked off. I'll be honest, I don't want to be that guy, but he's obviously no longer with us. Well, actually, he probably is, but not in a living capacity. He's not at the mechanics or gun shop, and unfortunately I couldn't possibly think of another place he could be. Well, other than his own home, I suppose. Ah, would you look at that? There he is. Machete goes slice slice, but at least me and Sam become BFFs.
Friendship earned. Andy is dead. Andy is found, but Andy is also dead.
Lily mentions on the radio some fellow survivors have been mugged and robbed by some thugs. We have no evidence for who could be behind this, but she wants me to go point fingers at the Wilkerson boys. But I suspect she may be bipolar.
You've been pushing yourself like crazy. Come home and get some rest.
No, Lily, you've been nagging, so I'll go get it done, alright? Even if it means I'm risking my life, and I may die and you may never see me again, just know it was your fault if I don't make it back. Okay?
Lily wants me to accuse these boys, so I most certainly will, by driving at them at 35 miles an hour. But don't worry, they get their revenge.
Oh my god, what the fuck? What did I hit? Did you just have a mine there? What the actual shit?
I accuse them of being wrong-uns and, well, domestic terrorists. But they don't appreciate the accusations or going on a very long rant about being businessmen. If you steal a man's fish, he'll have nothing left to steal. But if you sell him a fish, he'll keep coming back to buy more. Or it was some bollocks like that, I'll be honest, I'm paraphrasing.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Sounds fair. I believe them. Even if they did blow up my car.
And seeing as they did blow up my vehicle, I think it's only fair if I borrowed one of theirs. If someone can let me know in the comment section how many vehicles miles I've gone through in this video, that would be great.
Oh, shit.
Who'd have guessed, but a raw traffic collision mixed with a double zombie bite doesn't do great for your health.
No, 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 no!
Marcus is able to shake this off and live to fight another day. So I get back to the church and park up nice and safely. We then chat to Jacob, who still doesn't know his fella's dead, and basically he wants to look for a new home, seeing as the church is getting rather cramped. Excuse me for being such a brilliant hero and saving everyone's life. Unfortunately, the place he wants to look at is on the other side of the map, and every time I go ever so slightly off-road, disaster strikes. I decided it would be best to take the road, aka the long way around.
This might be the slowest car I've ever seen, ever.
Although rather predictably I missed my turn and had to freestyle it right at the bloody end. But fair play to Marcus for safely rolling out of that fall.
Okay, great. That wasn't, yeah.
I even forgot to re-equip my melee weapon, so all I've got on me is my knife and a 5-shot revolver. Okay, and a cheeky Molotov or two.
I'm a moron.
So we get to the house that Jacob wanted to check out, and it turns out it's owned by a girl he used to go to school with. I'm not gonna lie, Jacob, that's proper creepy like. If I see you anywhere near your underwear drawer, I'm gonna shoot you in the back. We go to head inside, but it turns out someone else has been hiding out in this house. And the game gives us very subtle ways to let us know that he might not make it. For the second time today, I shoot an ill man in the face.
The hell was that?
Well, he was a zombie. Don't have a go at me.
Come on now, Jacob. Was I not supposed to shoot the man that was going to eat our spleens in the face? Jacob's feeling a bit uneasy and wants us to leave the area and regroup nearby. So I borrow us a new car, then head over to a nearby warehouse. I don't have to make my decision now, but Jacob very much wants to move there because of the tree fort. I guess he decided he wants to walk back because suddenly I'm all alone. And this time I'm like, fuck it, we'll just go off-road. Obviously forgetting that the farmland is built like Fort Knox.
Oh, yeah. Forget about the Wakandan fences.
I do manage to get access to the field and drive past a freshly crashed aircraft, but immediately get stuck on the other side of the field. I'm forced to retreat back to the road, but before I get there I notice a juggernaut just chilling in the hay.
I take out the juggernaut with a car?
It turns out I can floor him with the back of my pickup, but to finish the job I need to double tap. Although this does leave the car in a less than desirable shape.
I definitely need to get back to the road, I think.
But progress is slow when you've only got 2 wheels. But luckily I find an identical truck just around the corner. But while I'm on my way back, Autumn's radioed out and asked for assistance. She wants to take down an armoured Zed to try and make the area safer. And obviously I'm more than happy to help. There's apparently one hiding out in this shed, but everything goes terribly when I kick in the door. My teammate must have been right behind me because she grapples the zombie. My bullets just bounce off his massive head, so I go for something that's a little heavier.
Oh wait, oh, trust lost because I set her on fire. Oh, but I did the mission.
But after looking back at the game tape, I'd say I'm chatting utter shit, as Autumn actually took the zombie out by herself. Even though I did very little work and, well, actually set her on fire. Surprisingly, she's super nice about it. But the last thing we want is anyone finding out that I was a little heavy-handed with the Molotovs. But unlucky for me and luckily for her, she's extremely agile. And then for what feels like the 100th time, I get my car stuck.
I want to say this serves me right.
And Autumn's been a proper petty bitch about it and doesn't even offer to push me out. So I'm making sure to take all of my shit out of the boot when Lily jumps on the radio once more.
Have you had a chance to check out that weird army thing yet?
No, Lily, I haven't, okay? I've been busy saving everybody else.
But it just so happens I was walking past it at that exact moment. The army have captured 2 civilians, and if you remember the radio message from earlier, they said they'd thoroughly shoot anyone who got in their way. So I grab the popcorn and wait for the 3 snuff film. But it looks like this sergeant is afraid of civilian casualties and lets them run off into the night. What a massive pussy. I protest like the French and try to burn the nearest authority alive. Unfortunately, it seems they have trust issues.
Are they allies, really? I thought the army were bad guys.
I decide to try and find those survivors and track them down to a nearby house. I find them cowering in the dark, and it seems my aggressive stance is rubbing off on Marcus.
I got these assholes.
But he then immediately softens up and offers them a place to stay. So I drive them back to the church, where we shall all live happily ever after. The next day I once again get some more devastating news. Another enclave's collapsed.
At least they were just strangers, though.
Lily's asked me to go check on the doctor, seeing as he's in some sort of trouble.
Well, the car situation could be improved, let's be honest.
So I drive over there with the utmost of haste.
Trying to, but it seems the car's stuck.
Okay, change of plan, I guess. I suppose I'll just take the one that's missing the back tyre.
I mean, I'm not going to get pulled over, am I? Let's be honest. It's quite funny. As I drive around, I see, like, all the debris from the chaos I've caused in previous episodes. Pickup truck there, for example. And I still drive down a ditch. What? Honestly, God. One day I will learn my mistakes. Today is not that day.
The dock is in a cemetery and surrounded by the undead, and there's only one way I know how to fix this situation.
I got you, Doc. I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you.
But apparently he doesn't like being crushed by SUVs.
I gotta protect him. Well, can't we just run? Surely that would be the sensible play.
This guy doesn't need protection. There hasn't been a doctor this bloodthirsty since Harold Shipman. Frankly, I'd be better off protecting the zombies from him. I then get distracted what I believe is my first bloater, and I'm very interested in testing out its flammability, especially compared to State of Decay 2.
I mean, it probably... Oh, sorry, mate. Sorry. 1 second. There you go.
Wait, what?
Trust lost. Oh my god, but I got a multi-kill, so that counts. I'm sorry. Double XP, bro.
And I'll be honest, I'm starting to wonder whether or not the doc is actually suicidal.
He is an actual moron.
I start popping headshots to save him, but with this being a 360 game, the controls are a bit iffy, so I revert back to what I do best.
Okay, yeah, he's on fire again.
After running out of ammo, I finished the last zombies with my axe.
Okay, for the love of God, can we get out of here now, Doc? I'm out of ammo, and you apparently don't like being set on fire by bloody Molotovs.
So I'm like, what the hell are you doing up here, bat? And he's like, I'm visiting my dead wife, you inconsiderate prick.
Smart thing to do, innit? Visit a grave during the zombie apocalypse?
He then leaves, but I think he's actually starting to warm to me.
We got a new radio option gain. Cool. So it turns out he doesn't mind being set on fire. What a nice man.
You'll be glad to know I safely get back to base, but Lily's having another one of her famous meltdowns. The pastor tries to calm her down with some Bible drivel, but when he stops making any sense, it's revealed that he might be unwell.
The black fever. Pastor Will is sick. There is a solution to that.
So I go to see how he's doing in the infirmary, and to see if he wants to watch my back on an up-and-coming mission. But the big man's a little bit tired.
Oh, you lazy bastard.
Thankfully, he's not the only cannon fodder in this infirmary.
Karen. She was an alcoholic and she drank a lot. Well, if you are an alcoholic, obviously you drink a lot.
She will do perfectly. I recruit her and then we head on out. I want to claim a new ammo outpost to hopefully boost my ammo supplies.
Zombie horde alerted. Ah, but we can take care of them, can't we?
And that's some bloody good life advice for you. There's not many problems you can't solve by hitting them with your car. So we get to the gun shop, and using my radio we can turn it into an outpost. And I'm really glad I brought Karen along on this journey. Honestly, her and that frying pan were absolutely invaluable. And that's probably why it hurt so bad while I was trying to figure out how the defenses worked. She straight up abandons me.
Oh my god, what the hell's going on out here, Karen? Why, is that her running away from me? Karen, where you going, love? Get back here. This doesn't look good that 2 videos in a row I'm chasing bloody women around. Oh god, no. And now I'm getting beaten up for it.
I decide it's probably best not to chase a woman in the dark during the apocalypse, and instead accept a mission to go meet the law. It's on the other side of the map, and I'll be honest, on this occasion I just can't be asked to play it sensibly by driving around the ring road. So instead just drive through everybody's farmland. And surprisingly this goes quite well, other than the existential crisis the boys back at home are having.
Oh, Ed, you're a pussy. Honest to God. We're scared of you living in a church, mate. I mean, you know, God wouldn't let anything bad happen to it, would he?
Although on my way to the mission, I realise there's a couple of strangers that need my assistance. And seeing as I'm driving past, it would be rude to just say fuck off. Although I'll be honest, I do get a little bit confused about where they actually are.
Heads up. We got a visitor.
Yes, you do have a visitor, but your visitor's a bit stupid. Ah, there's a back door. Obviously, I take the window, though. Howdy, cowpokes.
Their friend Jack is missing, and I'm more than happy to go and help them find him. But things aren't looking good when I check out our first spot.
Does he look like a bit of a crackhead? Because I might have found him. Ah!
Jesus Christ, that zombie had the reactions of an RAF pilot. And I think it's fair to say things don't exactly improve in the second building I walk into.
I mean, he might not have been dead there, to be fair, and I've just, like, axed a guy from behind.
Thankfully, that wasn't their mate Jack, as Jack was hiding out next door. Still don't know whether or not that was an actual zombie or just someone leaning against a wall, but it was probably best just to move on. Jack is incredibly grateful to have his life saved, and I'm not saying they're asking for too much on anything, but now they want to lift home too.
Are you kidding me? It's miles away.
Thankfully, a pizza delivery car has been abandoned outside, and apart from me scaring the literal shit out of them when I run into a juggernaut, the drive back home is fairly uneventful.
Well, I'm definitely gonna need a new car, and I look at the state of this thing.
The three of them live in this garden shop with this alternative goth girl, which is quite funny really, because I once watched a film titled Goth Girl Gets Ploughed by Three Strangers. I wonder if they're related. Anyway, I steal their Molotovs and head back into Marshall, because we have a judge to meet. She welcomes me to the new society, but I can't help but feel that might be a little bit premature. I mean, at this point in the story, we're only a couple of weeks into the apocalypse. I have the feeling this woman just very much craves power, and you can see this is true as she makes me follow her down long ass corridors. What a boss ass bitch. She gives us the opportunity for me and my community to join, but we'd have to give up our guns in order to do so. And seeing as that would be
be pretty much suicide given the whole zombified human thing, I politely tell her to go fuck herself. She leaves and I start talking to one of the sheriffs. He's like, any chance you can give us a hand clearing out some local infestations? And I'm like, only if you've got some form of explosive device in order to aid me with this request. Then he's like, check out our supply locker. Admittedly, I've got to trade in a couple of packs of Doritos to make room for the frag grenades. Jesus Christ, how big were those packs of Doritos? So we make our way over to the first infestation, and I'm always grateful when the NPCs that give you missions come along to enjoy the misery. As you probably know, there's only one way I know how to clear out infestations. Although my second molly is much more direct to the root of the problem. That'll sort them out.
Although that almost leads to an accident.
Oh shit. Right, I almost shot you both then. You're looking a bit pale, guys, you know? Time to get some sunlight, I think.
Admittedly, I do have to kill the last screamer with my axe, but all of that racket has drawn hordes to our location. And I'll be honest, I'm not sure what the difference between a Molotov and a petrol bomb is, but something's telling me the petrol bomb is much more potent.
I think I'm on fire. I can't entirely tell. That seems like a lot of screams from my teammates too, to be honest with you.
But say what you want, that strategy was incredibly effective. However, not quite as effective as this next one.
Hasta la vista. That was a beast of a throw.
And with 2 infestations cleared, we make our way to the 3rd. But as we arrive, someone radios a mayday asking for our assistance.
Help's on the way.
Yep, okay. Don't worry about the infestation then, is it? I mean, we just spent a lot of fuel getting over here, but okay, yeah, we'll go save these random strangers. Being the law is exhausting.
The survivors hiding out in one of these 3 buildings, and it would be great if they could be more precise about their location. At the end of the day, they have our radios as long as if they can't reach us, and they definitely would have heard all of the racket of me mowing down countless Zeds. But oh no, I gotta search every single one of these buildings, and typically she just happens to be in the last building we check.
I knew we should have checked out the petrol station first.
And with the lady saved, I assume I've got to give her a lift somewhere, as that tends to be the MO in this game. So I follow them back towards my car, but as soon as their dialogue finishes, they stop and start running in the opposite direction. Maybe I just stink or something. I commandeer this police car and decide to head back to base to give Marcus a little break. But on the way back, Lily lets me know that there's some survivors that need my assistance. And it's fair to say she's incredibly inconsistent with her management style.
You're going to burn yourself out if you don't come home and rest a little.
Lily, you just told me to go and rescue people,
and now you're like, oh no, you're a bit tired, come home and have a little nap. Yeah, these people need saving, like.
honestly, I'm starting to think that Lily's bipolar.
Thankfully, I'm able to save them before the worst happens.
Got you guys.
Honestly, I dread to think where these people would be without me. I then take her back to base, and the most important rule when you're in the car with me is always wear your seatbelt.
Oh, for Christ's sake, I forgot that was a thing. I've gone the whole episode without even falling out of the car once.
But then we get interrupted by another horde of zombies.
Please get in quickly.
But she doesn't get in quickly.
That's not my fault. Don't you dare blame me for reckless driving. Oh, great. Now I'm gonna have to save her ass again.
And save her ass I most certainly do. Thankfully, we get home with no further issues.
There we go. Home safe and sound.
And when I walk into the hall, the doctor's telling Jacob about what happened to his fella.
Did he suffer?
Okay. Eli is dead. He didn't. He wasn't even aware that I put a bullet in him. Oof. That's awkward, isn't it?
Seeing as Marcus has got a bit tired, I decide to swap to Ed, and we were gonna go help some runners who found themselves in some trouble. That is until I get a radio message saying that Alan has shot Pastor Will. So I turn around to see what the bloody hell is going on. Don't get me wrong, I know he was sick and that. There was no evidence he'd been bitten by a zombie or something. Jesus Christ, but he might have just had the common cold, like. And besides that, if he really was on death's door, that's not how you treat people. You don't just shoot people who are no longer useful to you. You make them go fight a juggernaut, and if they survive, then they can stay with you. Honestly, this new society is so archaic. This time before I head out, I recruit Sam to come and watch my back. And unfortunately, due to my off-road driving tactic, we're gonna have to leave the police car behind. And on this occasion, I decide to stick to the roads. But deep down, I'm just a child, so swap my car as soon as something better comes along. In fact, I actually do that twice. What can I say? At the end of the day, that racing stripe has got to add an extra 50 brake horsepower. And you'd think having a new car would make my decision making a little bit better.
Oh, I could have gone about this better.
Rather fight them here. At least here we've got choke.
Are you kidding me? Run, you tit. Don't just stand here and fight.
Honestly, this is a terrible place to defend. He's chatting about choke points as if we're not stood in an open fucking camp.
Right, where's Sam? I don't know where Sam is. I may have left my friend behind.
And what makes this even worse, my new friend who I've just risked my life to save just straight up abandons me.
I gained trust, but apparently I lost a friend. R.I.P. Sam. Send one up.
And due to some unforeseen circumstances, I'm once again forced to change cars. But that turns out to be an amazing thing, because if I didn't have this shitty little hatchback, I might not have spotted this beast. And my god, what a beast she is.
Caballero.
That's when Lily once again radios me and lets me know we've been receiving some weird signal. She's asked if I go check it out, and I'm more than happy to do so. But I'll be honest, that's mainly so I can just test this car out some more.
I must keep this card intact. It is the best card I've seen. It's sexy, it's amazing, it's orange. I don't know why I really got excited about the word orange there.
Tragedy then strikes as I accidentally hit the biggest jump in this bloody game.
Wait, oh my god, that's some serious air. What's impressive, I didn't even roll or anything.
However, that signal is super loud and it's attracted a shit ton of zombies.
And I've only got 3 grenades, so we need to... Oh my god, Ed.
Thankfully, I managed to get away, but there's still so many of them.
Gathering a nice little pile for me. Okay, that is what I call effective.
But truth be told, I barely scratched the surface.
Oh, no.
So I tried blowing up another horde, then investigate the source of the signal. And that to me looks like a Cleo drop. However, there's way too many zombies to give me a chance to search it. So I dropped my last grenade and tried clearing out the hordes with my Uzi. But no matter how many zombies you kill, there's still another horde just waiting around a corner. Ed gets munched on. And at this point, I'm wondering if I can even save him.
See, how is there so many of them already?
So I devise a new strategy. Mow them all down with a nearby pickup truck. And believe it or not, this is probably the most successful thing I've ever done in this game. I then used the Uzi to take out the last few stragglers, and then finally able to search the Cleo device. And it's fair to say, I got some decent shit. But once again, the zombie swarmed me and I decided to leave the majority of that food behind. At the end of the day, you can't snack on baked beans if you've been zombified. And now it's time to just get in the car and get the fuck out.
I hope whatever you found out there was worth the risk.
No, it wasn't Lily. No, it was not.
Tensions are currently higher than 2007 Lindsay Lohan. So I agreed to take Alan for a walk like he's a bloody Dalmatian. But I'll be honest, exercise wasn't really part of my forte before the zombie apocalypse. And I'm certainly not taking that risk now with skin-munching knobheads about.
This car I will not be abandoning. This is an amazing vehicle. No, we're not even going to crash into that horde. I want to keep this in spick and span. Ignore the bonnet.
We park a safe distance from the location on the mini-map, then get charged by multiple hordes that remind me of World War Z. So I burn the first horde while Alan deals with the feral.
Is this a professional hit if I just let him go down? He did shoot a man in the face.
I'm sorry, right, but at the end of the day, you can't blame him for that. The face is the perfect place to shoot someone. Oh, and he was carrying, like, the Black Plague or something like that. So anyway, I decide to save Alan, and after a touching heart-to-heart that allows us to sympathise with Alan, we take him home. And I'm sorry, right, but there definitely could have been a cheaper way for us to socialise. I just used, like, 50 bullets and 2 Molotovs to keep that prick alive. Honestly, my blood is seething. Anyway, when we get back, I've got to fight off a feral, but Alan starts showing symptoms of illness. But the game actually tells you this in really subtle ways.
Okay, well, we know the next one who's gonna die.
I've then got to do the same bloody thing with Aidan, who apparently used to be a funeral director. And to be fair to him, what a bloody time to be a funeral director. So we arrive at the destination, kill a zombie or 6, then chat about our feelings for 5. But at least this one wasn't a complete waste of time, as I did get 3 rucksacks of food. I love how this game has the most efficient way of transferring that food to your storage. And after dropping Aidan off, Lily tells me the coordinates of another weird signal she's picked up.
Another supply drop, eh? Well, I went so well the last time I tried doing that.
But the key is to always learn from your mistakes.
Oh, that's not good. That took a big hit. Can I just, like, ramp over the fences? Yeah, look at that.
And previously my problem was trying to search the supply drop before I'd killed all of the nearby zombies. That certainly won't be happening on this attempt, as I have a genius plan. Seeing as the car was basically dead at this point, but hey, gotta look at the positives, that's the longest we've had a car survive. I decide to borrow tactics from the IRA in the 70s. But instead of trying to promote an idea of a united Ireland, I'm just looking for a quick and easy way to search a supply drop. And as you can probably see, this doesn't go particularly well for old Eddie boy. I managed to escape, but it's fair to say my health has seen better days. After popping some paracetamol, I lead the hordes on a wild goose chase. Well, that is until 2 ferals rock up. Luckily, I'm rocking some military grade weaponry, but I don't exactly use it in an efficient manner. Honestly, this horde takes more chest shots than an actress who's looking for her big break. Only 1 out of the 2 ferals died in that exchange, and it very much looks like Ed could be next on the chopping block. I boot the feral flying, but this unfortunately is where Ed leaves us. He's been a friend to some, but his highlights reel is shorter than the life expectancy of a medieval child.
Psych!
Eddie boy is an absolute beast and fights him off to live another day, but his strategy needs an adjustment.
I have plans. None of them are good, but I have plans.
I find a car on the edge of the field, and using my extreme intellect and out-of-the-box thinking, I get that bad boy into the field. I can then use the car as an effective battering ram to clear any zombie that dares spawn. I can then search the supply drop, which was more heavily armed than a paranoid Republican. And seeing as I'd cleared all the hordes, on this attempt I was actually able to clear the entire supply drop. Honestly, my tactical tactical genius knows no bounds. Although admittedly I am now trapped in a field where the gates don't work and the fences are harder to break down than a Jose Mourinho park the bus strategy. But it turns out I am in fact the special one. From here I can drop off all of my stuff, but it seems Alan's illness isn't getting any better.
I know I might not make it. We can't take that risk. No, I'm sorry. We're gonna murder him. Go somewhere isolated. Alright.
But I think he's starting to have second thoughts about his euthanization policy, as he goes down quicker than your mother's underwear after a bottle of rosé.
Get in the fucking car, dude.
He literally spends 5 minutes whinging, literally repeating the same bloody sentence.
You gonna sit around with your thumb up your ass or help out?
Thankfully, an explosion kicks him into gear.
There we go. And look, the heat from the fire will keep our community members warm. I'm such a good guy.
I take Alan to a quiet place, which also happens to be the same place we took Aiden to earlier. A bit suspect if you ask me. Although I'm not one to look a gift horse in the mouth. Although he does make it weird by getting on one knee. And it's like, dude, I'm not about to knight you. And for the love of God, please don't ask me to marry you. But with a heavy heart, I lock and load and blow his bloody brains out. Can I get an R.I.P. Alan in the comment section? And with the weight of the knowledge of me taking another man's life on my shoulders, Lily offers to get the party vibes going.
We'll crack open a cold one for you.
I drop off Alan's belongings, and we gain morale in the process. I guess people really weren't fans of Alan. Now seeing as Ed has taken a big ol' hit, I swap out to Maya. She decides to go help out some army guy who's disobeying direct orders and helping out some civilians. And I get the impression these lot are really on edge when I arrive. It's good to see my reputation precedes me. Sergeant Eric Tan is pleased we've come to help. He just has one very simple request.
Hey, try not to shoot us in the back, okay?
Can't promise that.
The survivors are held up in a house nearby, and you know me, I have the best strats for dealing with these kinds of situations. Although admittedly that throw wasn't great, but don't blame Maya, she was eating buttery popcorn on the ride over here.
I was trying to help, I really was.
Thankfully, when there's this many of us, the hordes inside this building didn't stand a bloody chance. The sergeant thanks me by giving me access to artillery strikes via the radio command. I'm sure he won't regret that decision. Seeing as this house is right next to a previous Cleo drop, you know the one I mean. I decide now would be a great time to collect all the food I previously left behind. And with a boot full of our most precious resource, I make my way back to base.
Please don't, please don't, please, 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 please. Ah, for Christ's sake.
And I'm only able to remove one rucksack of food before it explodes off screen. Thankfully, Trumbull Valley is littered with the remnants of my previous vehicles, as well as newer and much better vehicles. I get home, drop off the loot, yada yada yada. Sergeant Man has decided to pop in to say thank you. He's like, "Here, take this reward for helping us." But the game doesn't actually tell us what the reward is. So maybe he's just being sarcastic and doing the whole middle finger out of the pocket thing. Moving on, my next plan is to help out the Wilkinsons with a delivery.
Oh, you pillock.
So after a little detour to get a new vehicle, I arrive at the Wilkinsons' farm. And it seems the delivery they mentioned on the radio is actually a customer of theirs that's been beaten half to death. And human trafficking is a very valuable market that I'm looking to break into. Delivery packages always go in the back, and in the great words of Trevor Phillips, I only ever put shit in the back that I don't mind losing. But let's be honest, that's gotta be a pretty scary situation to be in. After we shake off the zombies, like, thank you so much for saving me. And the way he says it kinda makes me feel like I'm not gonna get paid for this endeavour. He explains the reason the Wilkinsons were beating him is because he owed them protection money, which again doesn't bode well with me getting paid. So I drop him off and meet his wife, who supported a suspiciously low-cut top. I wonder which horny developer coded her program, if you know what I mean. They don't give me a reward for saving his life, so I decide to take their pickup as down payment. It's cooler than mine because it's got blue flames on the front. And hey, I'm no physicist, but I'm pretty sure one of Einstein's main theories was blue flames equals faster car. I've decided to help the army out once more, and this time they want me to test out their artillery strikes. So I climb to the tallest place I can, and rain hellfire upon the hordes of Trumbull Valley. I then choose to go and help a community member who for some reason wants to hunt an armoured zombie, but that doesn't go particularly well for her.
Oh my god, that's new. I've never seen that before.
And with it dead, all I've got to do is give her a lift home. But that's easier said than done due to my own incompetence.
How did I end up here?
In the end, she decides she's better off just walking home. And helping people out makes me feel warm and cozy inside, so I agree to do it again. It's fair to say she's in some serious trouble. It's a good thing I'm armed with.
The American pickup is the greatest weapon known to man. There you go, you're welcome. Save the survivor. Well, I'm pretty sure I just saved him.
Instead of running while we have the chance, we've got to beat the ever so living shit out of every single zombie in the area.
Thanks for coming to get me. I'm ready to leave now.
Yeah, no worries, Karen.
Thankfully, Karen accepts my lift home with no problems. That allows me to resupply, but I'm fed up of this warning in the top left-hand corner, so I decide to do something about it. It should also help get Lily off my back, because I swear to God she's doing my bloody Sweden. I get to an unfinished house house and find some diesel perfectly packaged in a rucksack for me. And now with this place fully looted, I can use the radio command to turn it into an outpost. One down, one to go. I decide a petrol station would be the ideal place for another outpost. It should give us a daily resource of overpriced sandwiches, flowers that are half dead, and pornographic magazines. Does anyone else find it weird you just find porn in a petrol station? It's not the bloody 80s anymore, son. Get yourself a fucking smartphone. Anyway, I fully loot this place, but it won't let me establish an outpost because apparently I've used this favor too many times recently. What an absolute piss take. I blame the comment section for not warning me about it. I again drop off all of my shit, and can you remember the goth girl from previously? Well, she needs help fortifying her home, and I don't know what it is about goth girls and gamer guys, but I'm more than happy to help the girl out. But I can't help but feel that they're sending me mixed messages.
Oh, they've locked me out, have they? Well, I guess I'll just take the window.
She's like, I'm trying to build a watchtower, is there any chance you can keep us alive while I'm banging away? So I'm like, yeah, sure, why not, love? So I slice and dice, then do exactly what you all expect of me.
I mean, I might be burning the watchtower, but it's fine.
And to be honest, I'm not sure if it had that charcoal effect 2 minutes ago. One of the workers has been swarmed around the back and it's my duty to go and help him.
Shit, he is in dire need. Luckily, I'm a man of simple solutions.
After a brief respite from the violence, Becca, who's the goth girl, decides she wants a little gossip. And basically her and one of the other fellas, don't ask me who, this is a 360 game, all the NPCs look the same. So the other night they had a pretty close run-in with death. And to release some tension they decided to raid a liquor store. One thing led to another and they ended up doing the nasty. Or at least that's what my wife describes it as, whenever I try to do the same thing with her. Well, now the bloke's acting like a lost puppy. What a simp. I once again rush to the aid of the workers, but this time it's more complicated.
I can't use a molly because it's too close to my car and I kind of grown attached to that.
Break the fucking wall!
Damn straight, brother.
While I'm waiting for the next wave of zombies to hit, I notice one of the blokes stood in the window
while the women work. Damn, this is a progressive game.
So we finish off the rest of the Zeds, and Beck is like, if it wasn't for you, we'd have lost a lot of people. And to be honest, I don't know how to mathematically quantify the word a lot, but there's only 3 of you in this entire place. That's when one of the court knobheads rocks up and tries to convince us to join him. But Beck is like, fuck off, you prick, we ain't joining your cult. He vanishes like a villain in a spy movie, and seeing as these guys once again haven't given me anything good, I once again raid their supply locker of Molotovs. Haha, best of luck keeping your people alive without highly combustible alcohol. While on the way back to base, some runners have got themselves into trouble, and it's my duty to defend them. Or so they reckon, but I don't remember signing that contract. But whatever, I use the big pickup as a battering ram. Then the guy I'm saved is like, yeah, cheers bud, thanks a lot. He runs off cowardly, and I use the radio to call someone to do a proper fucking job. I know technically I'm already here, and it would save resources for me to do it right now, but hey, I don't make the rules, I just enforce them. So I drive back with the utmost precision, but here there's some bloke trying to clear infestations nearby.
Sure, I'd clear an infestation. Oh wow, I just realized how much blood I got on my car.
It's actually an incredibly cheap way to change the colour of your vehicle, although you only get one choice of colour and you have to serve 25 years in Broadmoor. But it's fine, you'll probably be out in 11 with good behaviour. Imagine 11 years of no bills and being able to wake up whenever you want. And according to the Daily Mail, those bastards have Xboxes. Well, that decides it's time to commit an horrific crime. The most liked crime in the comment section gets the win. Anyway, I chat to Wade and we both decide to go clear an infestation. And we all know how that's gonna go. But I seem to have issue throwing them through the window. So I've got to do this the old-fashioned way by knocking down doors and kicking ass. But Aiden gets swarmed by the undead.
There's only one way I know to do that.
But it's fair to say that didn't exactly go to plan.
Okay, apparently I've set the ceiling on fire.
So I just spray and pay into the crowd and hope I just simply don't hit him. My melee weapon then breaks on a zombie skull. But it's alright, his friend barely touched me. But anyway, we successfully take down the infestation. Now I think we've been in this little church far too long. It's time to move house. So I jump in my impenetrable pickup and head out to find myself some building materials. And according to my mini-map, there's plenty here. But my motto is you don't buy a dog and bark yourself. But unfortunately on this occasion, I'm not able to live by that motto. You see, I want to use my radio to command to call one of my minions to do the looting for me. But unfortunately the horde gets too big and I've got to leg it. Basically, I bitched it.
Last thing I want to do is lose this car, you know?
So I make my escape, and where we're going, we don't need no bloody roads. I arrive at the location of the farmland compound from State of Decay 2. But with this being the prequel, it hasn't quite been built up yet. Oh shit, maybe that's what I'm about to do. I can either build it up or burn it down. There's very rarely an in-between with me.
That was a pretty effective shot, if I do say so myself.
I'm also starting to wonder whether or not it was a mistake equipping the world's largest wrench with the world's most slender woman. Now, of course, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that women can't be strong. I'm just saying that Maya Torres is built like a matchstick, and there's a pretty serious food shortage going around.
I got nothing left.
sorry, love, I give you too big of a thing, didn't I? Get it? Too big of a thing.
So I clear out all of the zombies from the area, but I need 30 building materials to turn this house into a home. Well, that seems like quite a lot. How many do I currently have? 28. Pretty close. If only I was successful with my earlier mission, we'd probably have enough materials right now. Fuck. But it seems my boy Julius is actually searching the trailer park I was just in, which either means Julius is bloody psychic, or I missed calling the scavengers while scrolling back through this footage. I reckon he's psychic because there's no way in hell I'd make a mistake. While we wait for Julius the Mysterio, I back my pickup into the bar next door and loot myself 2 sacks of building materials. You know what? Screw Julius and his witchcraft. I'll gather materials the old-fashioned way, thank you very much. Alright, fair enough, maybe his way is quicker. So I head back to the farm, clear out yet another horde of zombies that have mysteriously gathered in my absence, then claim this house as a home. But as everyone moves into our new farm, the work has only just begun. The first thing we gotta do is fix up the existing facilities. So I fix up the kitchen, the beds, then the storage. Then it's time to start building the important stuff. So I whack together a medical area, workshop and fighting gym. Then thanks to the building materials I found in the bar next door, we start building ourselves a watchtower. But after switching out to the legend that is Marcus Campbell, I realise building in this game isn't as simple as in State of Decay 2, because it seems almost every facility you build ends up with some kind of delay. Damn, I didn't think a game from the Xbox 360 era could be so realistic. I decide to give the flame-bodied pickup a rest, while I go out searching for bandages. We need the bandages to get the infirmary build back on track.
Oh, bloody hell.
Oh, yeah. Thankfully, I landed smack dab in the middle of the search radius.
So that's left me in a bit of a tricky situation, isn't it?
Thankfully, my crash site isn't too far away from our new home. So I drop off the bandages, but unfortunately, my work is never done. Now they want some bloody cinder blocks for the gym I'm building. And I don't know if it's glitched or something, but there's nothing here to search. Maybe the cinder blocks are just saplings at the moment, and I need to give them some time to grow.
Well, these little missions aren't annoying in the slightest, are they?
But it turns out that's not the only facility causing a construction delay. But I can't be arsed spending this entire episode looking for objects that aren't even going to spawn in.
Surely I'm not going to find cinder blocks in, like, a cannibal's workshop. This looks quite weird.
So instead I decide to go chat to Quinton. He's friends with the goth girl we helped out previously.
We're on the road again, but that's just a metaphor for going out travelling. We're not actually going on any road again. There's a little bit of rhyme scheme going on there. Maybe I should release a mixtape.
So anyway, I meet up with Quinton, and he's like, bro, there's something going on with Becca. I'm like, who the hell is Becca? And he's like, it's the goth girl you simp over every episode. So basically, he's a bit suspicious because Becca was referred to as Alex by the sheriff. He asks if I'd go chat to him, and I agree, taking his shiny new Escalade as compensation. So I arrive at the courthouse, but the sheriff's not currently here. So I listen into these girls' conversation, and it turns out they're starving. But I can tell you exactly who isn't starving, that bloody judge. She was a mighty thick snack if my memory serves me correct. Anyway, this bloke tells me that the sheriff has gone off hunting for ferals, so I've got to search the area looking for the big bastard. But I don't find any ferals, nor do I find any hot cougars my emails are always telling me about. But luckily I do find the sheriff cowering upstairs like he's some kind of Anne Frank wannabe. He agrees to tell me everything he knows about Becca as long as I help him hunt down a feral.
Jesus.
I quickly jump into one of my previous vehicles and take off.
Let's not worry about a juggernaut right now, especially if you're only after ferals. Oh, for Christ's sake, how's there another one by there? I've never seen so many juggernauts.
I find the feral hiding out in this little garage, and thanks to a little tactic I like to call don't stop shooting until everything stops moving, the feral goes down. But the sheriff decides he wants to have a conversation from across the lane.
I mean, could we get a little bit closer? There's lots of zombies around.
It turns out before the apocalypse, Becca's real name was Alex, and she used to suck cock for crack. That's how the sheriff knows her. He used to participate in her services. Sorry, I mean arrest her. Now it seems I'm gonna have to make a decision. Do I tell Quinton the reason Becca was so good in the sack is because she's quite literally a paid professional, or do I respect the privacy of a former sex worker? Also, she might have some spare crack she don't mind sharing. This is an incredibly tough decision, and the wrong decision in the apocalypse could be the difference between life and death. So I'm like, look mate, if you want to inquire about a girl's past, don't ask a stranger to go behind her back. If you want to find out exactly how many cocks she sucked for crack, you gotta ask her yourself. After that, I decide to keep the Escalade, seeing as the flaming pickup truck is in, like, well, slightly terrible condition. So I decide to go chat to Ray Santos. And before I get there, I speak to Lily on the radio, and basically it seems that this guy is just too good to be true. He once gave Lily's father 10 grand in cash, so Lily could get life-saving surgery. And could the Americans out there please, for the love of God, explain how that works to me? I just cannot imagine turning up to a hospital with a duffel bag full of cash. Yeah, right, but I'm here to pay for my appendix removal. Is there any chance I could get a VAT receipt with that? Anyway, I meet with Ray on the rooftop, and he tells me all about his family tree. I'm like, look mate, I don't care, I didn't even bloody ask. He claims he just wants to help out in whichever way he can. For example, if I ever need a car, just radio him and he'll be able to hook me up. Well, I am suspicious of him, but if there's one thing I go through a lot of, it's cars. Anyway, after surveying the rest of Marshall, I decide to take down a nearby infestation. And thankfully I packed plenty of Molotovs for this exact eventuality. Also, machine gun goes boom boom. Look at me, I'm a legend, I save everyone. Somehow the infestation gets cleared even though there's 151 different kinds of zombies about. But hey, whatever, I don't care, I'll take any victory I can. I then find myself a hot piece of American muscle, but apparently Keanu Reeves didn't survive the apocalypse, so I just had to put up with this vehicle. And after swapping all the supplies I've gathered so far from one boot to another, it's time to go gather even more. Lily has told me of another Clio supply drop, but this is without a doubt the most dangerous I've faced so far.
Right, I'm pretty confident I can take out a jug.
But it's not the juggernaut you want to be worried about, mate.
Oh shit, is that a bloater? Killed one of each freak with your car. I just got a notification for that. In fact, I just realised I'm getting covered. Oh god.
Who'd have guessed that bloaters would work the same way across both State of Decay games? I most certainly did not see that coming. But I'd say the bloaters are the least of our concerns right now.
Get out of the way. Pop the snack, Marcus. Eat it faster, you prick. Get ready for that firebomb. That's him. That's him.
I then pause to watch them all die in perfect synchronization. That is the true power of the Molotov. But I still need to get that Juggernaut out of the way. And of course, I could probably sneak in, avoid the zombies, avoid the Juggernaut, get what I need and sneak back to the car. But when have I ever done anything the smart way?
Oh crap, that always happens. Wait, I love this car. This is a tactical nightmare.
Well, it's certainly a bloody nightmare, but I don't think the word tactics deserves to be brought into it.
But that's alright, I've got a plan.
No, he bloody doesn't. Just remember, whenever this dickhead says he's got a plan, his head is emptier than JFK's. So I'm basically trying to do everything I can to clear the hordes with the car. And I'm using the arse end as I figure I won't get any engine damage. And once the regular zombies have been dealt with, I figure it's time to take out the Juggernaut. But I made a slight boo-boo in my calculation.
That is not a good time to run out of ammo, mate. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah, that's completely my bad, boys. I probably shouldn't have put the entire US military budget into one feral. Oops. I then get ripped out of the car while I'm trying to escape, and even tried to brute force the situation, but that very rarely goes well. Somehow I managed to get enough space to actually search the Clio drop, and after collecting the smallest amount of loot humanly possible, I jump into my car to make my escape.
Oh great, it's another Juggernaut. I have just been pulled out.
But then tragedy strikes. But no, I'm obviously not talking about a simple zombie bite.
The car is full of lots of goodies. I kind of need to keep it alive. No! What the hell?
After almost certainly suffering from 3rd-degree burns, there's only one thing Marcus can do. Curl up into a ball and cry about it.
Come on, get up. Get up. Now's not the time to be a pussy, Marcus. Oh, yeah, we've done the mission. Great.
Mercifully, there's an abandoned pickup at the house nearby. Although I say abandoned, I didn't even knock on the door to ask. So I may have just committed Grand Theft Auto. Weirdly, though, Ray decides to radio at this point. And he's like, yo, mate, you know I said I could sort you out with a car? Well, I got one ready for you, big boy. Well, that might seem a bit sus to me, but okay, I'll go with it. But it gets even more suspicious. He sorted me out with the exact replica of the car I've just lost. So either Ray Santos is stalking me, or something more sinister is afoot. The car did seem to explode rather randomly. What if it was Ray who fitted an explosive device? I'm gonna have to keep a very close eye on this man. And what's a better way to keep an eye on him than becoming the man's Uber driver? Some friends of his need some car parts, and I've got to take him to deliver them. But on the way, I pull over to search this warehouse and find more shit I need to finish off building my facilities. Cinder blocks and heavy gloves. What a score. Ray then shows off a bit of his psychotic side. By requesting I run over hordes and hordes of innocent zombies. And look, obviously I've got to do it. I'm undercover, I need to find out exactly what makes this man tick. We then arrive at his friend's place and deliver them the car parts they requested. And the only form of payment Ray asks for is some spare lumber from the barn. It's supposedly for another group of survivors, and Mr. Farmer Man is happy to give it to him. I'm always suspicious of a man who does charity work without asking for compensation, especially during the apocalypse. You can't even claim it as a tax write-off. Anyway, with that done, we can head home to drop off the supplies to finally finish our construction. And as if I haven't done enough for these knobheads, Jacob then asks if I can train him to be as kick-ass as I am. But I'm like, listen here kid, you can't teach what I do, but I could probably show you enough to stop being a whiny ass bitch. So we drive out to the middle of an orchard, and I tell him to smack up a zombie while I search these beehives. I find a couple of food resources which should go down well with the troops. I can then show Jacob the best way of beating zombies. Mashing the B button.
Oh, Marcus, that was sick, bro.
He then wants to try out his firearm capabilities, so I again drive him out to a quiet place. But when he misses his first shot, he then goes back to beating them. But to really show Jacob the best way to clear out zombie hordes, I decide to call the military for an artillery strike.
Shit. Shit. Shit.
I managed to roll away before the bomb stopped dropping.
Go. There you go. That's him. Oh my.
For the second time today, Marcus has been involved in a car bombing, and unfortunately as his skin sizzles away, we unfortunately have to say goodbye to Marcus Campbell. Oh wait, no we don't. Marcus is just built different.
And to think all that food supplies just went up in flames.
Why the bloody hell is Lily asking me to travel up a mountain to collect a trinket from her dead dad? But look, obviously I'm a good guy and it sort of does progress the story a little bit. So off I head in the slowest vehicle in gaming history. But if you've seen any of this series, you'll know that cars don't last particularly long.
Oh shit. Ah, well. I didn't want that car anyway. Admittedly, I wish that didn't happen so close to a horde. Okay, yep, they are coming. I thought they were running in the other direction. Time to go. Thankfully, there's a car right by here.
Marcus, how the hell are you steering, bro?
This car has no... Oh, hang on. He's using the force. His hands aren't touching the steering wheel. Fair enough. Didn't know Marcus was a Jedi. No disrespect, bruv. Bruv. Jesus Christ, I can't pull off a bruv.
But like I just said, cars don't last very long in this series.
Oh, hang on. I might not make this. Oh, shit.
I then hit the floor harder than a hangover in your 30s, but strangely only take a smidge of damage.
That certainly could have gone better.
Thankfully for me, Marcus is an incredible rock climber. Sorry, what I mean is the developers obviously knew one moron would get stuck in the canyon, and they had to supply a convenient way out. But the problem is there's no cars this side of the river. It's like an Oxford counsellor's wet dream, and that is an incredibly niche reference, which I'm not even sure I 100% understand. So I get to the ranger station from the start of the game, but things have gone from bad to worse. And basically what that means is this has now turned into an infestation. But you know me by now, I always pack plenty of mollies. But apparently wooden doors and walls are flameproof. So after finishing it off the old-fashioned way, I move in to secure the area. But even though there's no zombies about, apparently the station is still not safe. I think it's the game's subtle way of telling me I need to fight a lad with big bones. But my general rule of thumb is not to go toe-to-toe with something that could swallow me whole. Interestingly, that's the same reason I'd never fight a feminist. With the area now secure, I head back inside, and we find a little plastic watch with a cartoon fish on it. What the actual fuck? So yeah, I've just risked my life for a piece of plastic tat. A piece of plastic tat for the bloody apocalypse Karen. Now I gotta traverse my way back to the other side of the bridge, but thankfully that just gives us more time to appreciate Marcus's excellent rock climbing skills. And fair play, climbing up these giant rocky steps is real hard work.
Oh, this is not a good time to take a breather, Marcus, I'll be honest with you. Run, 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 get to that fucking SUV, son.
Thankfully, I escape and head south, and I meet up with Autumn at the auto shop. She wants a hand hunting a bloater, but in my experience, you don't hunt bloaters, bloaters hunt you.
There we go. Very effective, I feel.
Next up, someone wants a hand-hunted armored zombies, and I'm obviously more than happy to help out.
Whee! Oh, this is gonna be a mistake, innit? Please roll, please roll.
Yes!
I think that's the first time that's ever happened, and I've never been so happy.
This time it's Aiden that wants my assistance, but unfortunately my capture card glitches out and you don't get to see any of it. But how would you like a 1 minute 44 second still frame of him just stood there, eyes rolled into the back of his head like he's just found a used needle? But I promise I got the job done. As you can see, this isn't the sort of reaction you can just fake.
There we go. Sick.
After that, I climb a farmer's silo and have a look about for 5. And finding this many freaks makes Lily very happy for some reason. It's alright for her, she's not going to be the one who's going to be sent out to bloody fight them, is she? Lazy bitch. I mow down a couple of hordes like I'm an OAP following a satnav. I then head back to base, but I'm greeted with gunfire.
Jesus Christ, guys. That's no way to greet me. I've been off working my bollocks off.
I give Lily a watch back, but all she gives me is a polite thank you. This really is the death of capitalism. So after a quick stock up of resources, I head off to thin another horde, but don't get particularly far in the process.
Oh, for Christ's sake. Alright, yeah, my luck ran out there.
So instead I'm forced to head out in the old shagging wagon, but this type of sturdy chassis design makes it ideal for mowing down the unsuspected. Always a surprising term when I'm giving out murder advice to wannabe extremists. Moving very quickly on. I find a sack of building materials in this warehouse. I then turn it into an outpost as Lily's always moaning we haven't got enough. She then gets proper gaslighty.
Really? Are you sure?
I'm starting to suspect that Lily is the secret villain in this game. After that, I hear there's some trouble going on over at the courthouse, so I head over there to investigate. But unfortunately, the place is overrun. Both the sheriff and judge are dead, and I have the opportunity to save the last resemblance of society. But these bastards always seem to question my tactics.
That's a significant amount of allies I just lost there. Pop a snack. That's always good in the middle of a fight.
But before I can rejoin the fun, the mission completes, and they all ignore me like I didn't just save all of their whingy little asses. I can't even even steal my own prize from their supply locker, as it's emptier than a drunken promise. I then gotta travel to a veterinary clinic to collect a bone saw for my construction project. Basically, I'm upgrading my infirmary, and health and safety standards state we can't complete construction unless we have the apparatus to potentially saw off a limb. And I have no idea why we'd find this at a vet's. I thought the only time an animal would lose a limb is when KFC want to deep fry it.
Don't think so. No.
Jesus Christ. Not for the first time today my lungs have been filled with a sticky substance. I do find myself a bone saw and what looks like the remains of someone's cat. Damn, I'm gonna make sure to come back to this veterinary clinic again. It's not often you can find medical apparatus and lunch in one stop. So I make it an outpost and head to help out another one of my mates. This time it's the alcoholic Karen who wants to hunt a bloater. But unfortunately the game has wised up to my act.
Really? That did not count? At least I remember to jump out this time. Oh, Karen, I'm so sorry, love.
Like the anxiety-ridden bitch I am, I run away and let the woman fight all of my battles. Luckily for Karen, I save her about 3 seconds before she gets ripped into a million pieces.
Oh, there we go. I saved Karen. Everyone clap me.
Luckily, there's another bloater nearby, and then I can head back to base. While there, I'm able to drop off the bone saw, so if anyone needs a limb amputating, I'm your guy, just give me a shout. And seeing as Marcus is fucking knackered, I swap to Ed.
Lily, what are you cowering in my bedroom for? Yep, you better walk away, woman.
Ed is asked if he'd give this lad a little training session, and seeing as that went so well the last time I done it, I decide, yeah, why not? Past mistakes will not be repeated here. Unless, of course, we're talking about driving mistakes. In which case, those mistakes shall be repeated every 2 to 3 minutes.
Oh, look, it landed perfectly.
We batter one zombie and the game tells us to sneak to the next location. But I ain't sneaking anywhere, son. My car landed on all 4 wheels. It's obviously fate that I drive to the next location. The next lesson to teach him is shooting. But it's just like trying to behead Hydra. You shoot one with unsuppressed gunfire and 2 more just take their place. Even my mollies were powerless against the hordes. There was only one thing I could do.
Yes, look, that was an effective use.
Shit. But hey, at least Bryson learned a few things. They say students follow after their teachers, so I'd hate to see the war crimes Bryson will be committing later. But actually that would explain a few things that happened in my school, but that's probably a story for another time. I again get back to base, and overhear a conversation between Lily and the doctor. And when I say overhear, I mean put myself directly in the middle of. It seems Lily is suffering from an illness of sorts. I'm hoping it's the same one Alan had. I then use Ray Santos' car delivery radio command to get me a new vehicle, and his delivery times put Amazon to shame. I've had a message from the last few survivors at the courthouse, and they've asked if I'd pop in for a chat. It turns out they want to join my ragtag team, even though they were having a proper bitch fit about my tactics for survival earlier. But hey, look, I'll let bygones be bygones, hop on in, son. But wait, hang on, why is there only 2 of you? There was dozens scattered around the courthouse earlier. I'm hoping the others just left because you're a pair of annoying fuckers and not because you may have ate them. But hey, look, if they are cannibals, I guess every team needs a bad boy. I'm sure we'll make it work. So I introduced the 2 newbies to the gang, but there's no rest for the wicked. Someone else needs my assistance. Maya Torres has been trapped by the undead. You've got to be absolutely fucking kidding me. But it turns out Ed has got a hell of a sense of humor on him.
Anybody home?
Yeah, you can see her. She's right there.
I think I'm ready to head home now.
I'm not your bloody Uber driver, Torres.
He says as he drives her home without a second complaint.
But hey, I'm not the one getting the tip, if you know what I mean, lads. Hey.
It's actually you lot at home, and that tip is to always wear your seatbelt while in a vehicle that's in motion, especially if I'm at the wheel. Jesus Christ. And with Torres safely home, the next knobheads needing my help is actually the US military, and that is the first and last time those words will ever leave my mouth. We have Sergeant Eric Tan Hag, or whatever his frickin' name is, mourning that Jaden Sancho is the reason for the zombie apocalypse. No, obviously I'm joking, but that seems to be one nasty coffee's got by there. He wants to use some plastic explosives to blow open these gates and show off what his army superiors have been up to. And I love a bad boy, so I agreed to help him fight off the hordes while they plant explosives. Once again, Molotovs never fail me, and then a couple of his boys jump in to lay down a bit of a beating. Well, surprisingly, that was actually incredibly easy, but I think that one is like really enjoying himself. We then take cover as they blow the gates. And look, I'm sure this can't have a negative impact for any of the residents north of you. From here, I'm supposed to give him and his boys a lift to the fairgrounds. But before we do that, I find 2 sacks of ammo just lying on the ground. I mean, technically it was by the side of a rotten army corpse, but that's not the point. I take them exactly where they want to go. You know what? Maybe I am actually a fucking Uber driver. And no diss to Uber drivers is obviously a very valued profession, but I get the impression these stingy bastards ain't even gonna leave a tip. They're very surprised the area has been abandoned, and the sergeant man's like, listen lad, you steal whatever the fuck you want. I'm off to try and find myself the bigwigs. And you all know I'll follow orders from my commanding officer, so use a little 5-finger discount in this army tent. 2 more sacks of ammo. Very Very nice. Unfortunately, I do have to defend my new property from some wannabe looters, but after that I safely store the goodies in the boot of my police car. And I don't know what it is, but something just tells me I've got to keep searching. And my god, am I glad I did. Oh my god, grenade launchers? That's right, not just one, but 2 of the bastards. But in order to fit everything in my inventory, I'm gonna have to make some sacrifices. I rip apart my pack of quavers and paracetamol before doing exactly the same with the only melee weapon I possess. And that'll either be the smartest or dullest thing I've done in this game. I've also got to destroy a couple of items from the boot of the police car, but who the fuck gives a shit about a rucksack and some homeopathy medicine? I've got stacks of grenade launchers I need to get back to base. And look, if there's one thing that the American system has taught me, is that the right to blow shit up is so much more valuable than the right to heal yourself. So I make my way back to the farm, and I'll be honest, this is the most careful I've ever driven in my life. Not necessarily because there's explosives in the boot. I just want to make sure I can get them home safely so I can actually, like, you know, use them. But don't worry, I'm obviously not going to cock tease you like that. Let's go and test one of these bad boys out.
Looks like someone's in trouble, but I know how to sort this. Oh, love it.
But it turns out that wasn't even the infestation. It's basically just a mission marker to accept the infestation. So me and Aiden head over to the orchard that's right next to our base. You might remember it from previously, but as we turn up, the infestation clears itself.
Wait, what? There was no infestation. How can an orchid be infested?
Marcus takes over the night shift, collects a cocktail of ibuprofen and walkers, and now he's got to go help some of his fellow men survive the zombie apocalypse. And of the 3 people that needs his assistance, he decides to help out Jacob first. But as I'm leaving, I almost evacuate my bowels.
Bloody hell, man. Scared the shit out of me.
We take off in the cop car, and maybe for the first time ever, I get to my destination without trashing the thing. Jacob's not in the first house, so I decide to check out the garage next door.
That's not exactly a smart zombie, is it?
I walk in, but Jacob is nowhere to be found.
Peekaboo, motherfucker. What are you doing up there, you silly sausage?
Thanks for coming to get me. I'm ready to leave now.
Come on then, Norbert, let's get you home, son.
Whee! Wow, that was great, eh?
Anyone else surprised this didn't end in a fiery explosion? Because I certainly bloody am. I drop Jacob off, and all I get for risking life and limb is a little thank you. And it's only the abbreviation. What a twat. Next up, Ada needs a hand hunting a feral. But hunting's a hard man's game, so I gotta put him through the ringer. I'd say that's some impressive form. Fair play. However, my excitable start may have drawn a few knobheads over. And while Aiden was waiting for me, he didn't even have the decency to search his containers. Dude, this fucking food, dude. Do you know how valuable that shit is?
Can't believe you didn't even think to, like, search this place.
So now it's time to hunt a feral.
And I've always thought ferals were a lot like cougars.
They mainly hunt at night looking for younger meat.
You don't hunt them, they hunt you.
Ah shit, that's my bad. I think we're talking about a very different type of cougar.
Mayday, mayday!
Yeah, hold him still, hold him still. Oh, you've just...
But he gets bit, he's super quick, and he just refuses to hold the prick still.
Here we go.
And with that feral successfully taken care of, I decide to help another friend destroy an infestation. Although I've been known to become overexcitable.
I thought this was the infestation, I'll be honest.
Thankfully, the real infestation isn't too far away, but every time I go toe-to-toe, things tend to get out of hand. Luckily, my arse end has been known to get me out of deep shit. Me and Karen then finish off the last few with a battle axe, and personally, I'm just glad that Juggernaut couldn't be asked to wander over. I find a rucksack of petrol in this scrap pile, then drop off all of my resources back at base. Then Lily tells me of another Clio supply drop, and seeing as that's gone so well previously, I agreed to check it out in the now battered police car, and I once again refused to dick about with this.
Oh, bloater.
Well, at least bloaters aren't as deadly as in State of Decay 2. I drop a molly and batter a bitch or two, and Marcus also develops his matrix abilities. Never skip float above the ground day in the gym. And with that, I'm actually able to loot the Clio site. Look at all this incredible loot, and I didn't even nearly die to get it. This is literally unheard of. I might be becoming a competent gamer. One like on the video equals yes, one sarcastic comment equals no. And while you're there, you might as well subscribe, seeing as 80% of you haven't. We're trying to hit 20k by the end of the year, so do me a solid favour, is it? So I again drop the shit off back at base, and then agreed to cause a distraction for our neighbours so they can loot in peace.
Fine, I can cause a distraction. What kind of distraction do they need? Hopefully it'll be a big fireball. Those are my favourite kind of distractions.
Unfortunately, it doesn't go down like that. I rock up at an unfinished house, and a distraction bar appears on the left-hand side. So I just start blasting into this wooden panel. The mission completes, and the game just flat out insults me.
Who the fuck thinks they're talking to me like that?
Well, with that done, and Lily always moaning about us needing more outposts, I make a waypoint to a gas station on the edge of Marshall.
Don't do it. Don't roll over, please. Oh, for Christ's sake. Thank God for that. Also, I'm getting quite low on aspirin now.
Well, you should probably stop throwing yourself at the cars, you bloody moron. Why am I kidding myself? I'll never learn that lesson.
Whee! That was pretty sick. The only problem is I'm pretty sure I'm now trapped in this field.
It turns out I'm very much trapped in this field, especially as these fences were made in Wakanda. Fortunately, I am just built different. So I arrive at the Pronto petrol station. Unfortunately though, I am not alone.
Oh, you prick. Stealthy bastard.
I cave in his skull, but I've got to completely search the place before I can claim it as an outpost. And there's a few individuals that don't want me gentrifying the area.
Oh, you motherfucker. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Get off me. Get off me!
So I roll on out of there, and things start getting very hot indeed. But for once I'm actually having doubts on the effectiveness of my molly game.
You twat!
And after losing my temper, I whip it out like that kid you should definitely be keeping an eye on. And this is the simple brutality of the State of Decay universe. You shoot one zombie and 3 more take its place. Fucking have that, you twat.
We're going different strategy. My LB button's not working. Why are you not running, Marcus? Don't fucking tell me it's because you got no stamina, you prick.
After having enough of dicking about with these hordes, I jump in the car. But it's obviously not my car. Its entire purpose is to be used as a battering ram to mow down knobheads. And I'm obviously not going to use the muscle car for that. Once they're cleared, I search the petrol station, then break my axe on the next approaching horde. But apparently it was only a replica from Lord of the Rings. Thankfully, I've got an absolutely killer strategy, which involves me drop kicking then roly-polying before eviscerating skulls with my combat knife. Then I can finish looting and make the place an outpost. After that, I realise I haven't used off the goth girl for a while, so decide to pay a visit. Well, technically I was looking for a new vehicle, but hey look, I'm a modern man, that means I can multitask. Actually, I take that back, goth girl, please come and save me. Thankfully, they're pretty sound about my noisy arrival and leading a horde straight to their house. Well, technically it's a garden shop, but who am I to judge?
Good going, team. Didn't even have to molly them.
Unfortunately, they don't even have a single melee weapon I can pinch, so I guess I'll just help myself to their mollies then. I then get a mission to go speak to Sergeant Eric Tam. He's asked if I'd meet him at this old abandoned building. There's another soldier there that's been abandoned by his platoon, and very cleverly the game gives you subtle hints to let you know he's on death's door. With the soldier dead, we decide to chat outside, and he's like that rambling buffoon mentioned water several times during that conversation. So we decide to go check out the reservoir nearby, and it seems the reservoir was the site of some sort of massacre. Like, Jesus Christ, I guess Jeffrey Dahmer survived the zombie apocalypse.
Cough, he's gonna die. Do I put him down or not?
I decide to delay the mercy killing for now, and we go for a wander down towards the waterfront. Now, I'm no expert, but it seems that some silly knobhead has been dropping tons and tons of dead guys into our only water source. Maybe this goes beyond my earlier suspicion of Jeffrey Dahmer. Well, I guess that would explain why everybody seems to be getting sick. But hey, I'm sure everything will turn out fine in the end. I then decide to head back home, as it seems someone's having a little temper tantrum. So I'm like, come on son, let's go blow off some steam. Turns out there's tons of zombies in this area, and Marcus has the great idea of taking them out the old-fashioned way. But I obviously disagree with that statement.
What do you mean, trust lost? Was he some kind of pussy?
Especially as I completely forgot to equip a new melee weapon after the axe broke. Luckily, my dropkick strategy seems to be coming in clutch. Also, machine gun goals. However, as previously discussed, zombies are attracted to noise, and that does make our escape a little harder than normal. And as Aiden drops to his knees and the car bursts into flames, I figure the only thing I can do is just simply abandon them both. So I get to a safe distance and stop, watch, and wait for the inevitable explosion. But surprisingly, that never comes, even after I try helping things along with a cheeky Molotov. Aiden once again loses trust in me, but that molly's what frees him from the horde that's attacking him. Honest to God, that little fucker needs to be more grateful. If I had a time machine, I'd go back and expel the fucker while I had the chance. Surprisingly, we get home without the car killing us both horrifically, and I decide to swap to Maya Torres. And with all of our vehicles currently on their last legs, Maya asks Ray Santos to deliver us a new one.
Well, legend. Thank you, Ray Santos. Maybe I misjudged you.
I then take out a screamer, although admittedly a little bit too late.
Yes, I'm being chastened by a naughty nurse. Well, I never thought I'd run away from one of them.
And I certainly didn't think I'd cave in the skull of one. Maya agrees to do Lily another favour by agreeing to climb up this silo for like the 3rd time. Either Lily is developing dementia, or she's hoping I slip and fall from a great height. But hey, who doesn't love sliding down a ladder? Torres then agrees to help a friend clear an infestation, but we get overrun before we can even start the mission. Luckily, I'm an out-of-the-box kind of thinker. Although admittedly, we now need to run to the infestation, but hey, you know what they say? Cardio's the most important rule of Zombieland. Literally 2 shots later, the infestation falls, although my friend does get attacked by the horde that's drawn by my gunfire.
There we go. Where's she gone?
Well, technically I think she's in several places at once, but I'd say her main job right now is fertilising this orchid. I then overhear a conversation between Big Ed and Doc Hansen. Turns out Ed's bite wound he received at the beginning of the game is completely healed. Well, that is great news, and I'm sure there's no foreshadowing whatsoever. She then decides to help out another ally, and you should know exactly how we do that by now.
I got you. No, you can't lose trust in me, you prick.
And after doing such an amazing job saving him, I've then got to give him a lift home. But I do take the opportunity to grab myself a new car. Also, this is the second time in the past hour that Jacob has needed saving. Honestly, this bloke is a liability and I don't know how much longer I'm going to save him for.
If you wanted to claim dibs on some of the better gear, I don't think anybody'd mind.
Lily, I've been doing that since day one. Even when I wasn't impressing people, I was still dipping my hand into the communion deposit box, whatever you want to call it, alright?
For the second time today, I agreed to go on a feral hunt. It's also the third time I've tried to run over one of my friends. Thankfully, we find one incredibly quickly, and I don't even have to leave the car in order to kill the fucker. He knew exactly who the alpha was and was like, nah, I'm alright, you win, champ. I then get asked to check in on an enclave that sounded scared over the radio. There's these two redneck motherfuckers threatening this dude with guns. They're like, you owe us ammo, you little fucker, but he's like, I swear I haven't got any. But they're reasonable men and give him 2 days to come up with the ammo or they'll come back and shoot him and all of his family. Once they leave, he begs me for assistance. He's like, is there any chance you can spare 5 cases of ammo to save a man and his family? But I'm like, nah mate, you're on your own, son. And after making that heartless decision, I realised something. It's been a solid minute since I paid a visit to the Wilkersons, although they're less than friendly when I approached their door.
Help you with something?
Hell you won't.
So while they're not looking, I pinch several of their molly reserves, then use my pickup truck to herd a horde. I then circle their house with my finger on the horn button and sit back and watch the chaos unfold. But they seem to be having too much fun and I get jealous. So using their own mollies against them, I get to burning. And no matter how many times I tried to set them or their house on fire, they didn't lose faith in me once.
They ain't even phased, like. My allies, on the other hand, they were always phased when I, try burn them. But these guys, they sound. Fair play. Maybe I misjudged the Wilkersons.
I can always tell when a game is coming towards its end time, as the side content starts repeating itself. I really have to start by hunting another feral? Honest to God. I find Aiden chilling in some stable blocks, as you do.
Hey, stranger. No need to be silent, mate. We've already got our issues.
Not wanting to be turned into zombie grub, I roll on out and start spraying and paying with about a 35% accuracy. It also seems like Aiden's getting a bit overwhelmed.
You got this, bro, or do you need a hand? I think you need a hand.
The horde immediately disintegrates and Aiden runs off screaming into the corner.
I didn't even lose any trust. Good to know that, like, these guys are finally getting me.
I also drop-kicked an armoured zombie. It's not important for the story, but it does look really cool. I then go tell Aiden I'm ready to start the feral hunt. Meanwhile, his 2 ladies stand in the back patiently. And thankfully, the feral's just chilling in the bar next door. The feral immediately tries to jump me, but there's a reason my nickname is Speedy and Janky. And thankfully, that's not a nickname given to me by my missus. Then with the feral dead, I immediately abandon Aiden. He's a big boy, I'm sure he'll be able to handle this horde fine.
Oh no! No. Oh, fuck, could I say? Thank God for that. Oh, that was close. That was really close.
And head over to the local veterinary clinic to create a distraction. And I didn't even have to get out of my car.
No, they're not particularly bright, mate. Not bright at all. Not a single zombie around. I'm swapping cars also, because this is shit. Look at that.
Although maybe that wasn't the best idea.
This car is incredibly underwhelming. My foot is very much to the floor. Well, metaphorically speaking, my finger is pressed firmly against the controller casing.
So I've come to meet a new set of neighbours to neutrally oversee a trade deal between them and the Wilkersons. But it's fair to say they're a bit jumpy.
Oh, hi guys. Sorry about that.
So I go and chat to the leader Hector, who's a historian and a massive gossip. Together we carpool to Jurassic Junction, and I neutrally oversee the trade deal. That is, at least until the game tells me to head home.
Yeah, sure, let's head home. Also, new pickup.
But what can I say, mistakes were made. And more than once if I'm being 100% honest.
Oh man, that's a lot of trust lost.
And with that pickup being heavily involved in several hit and runs, I decide to go back to the old SUV. But something fishy's going on around here.
Wait, Hector what? Oh, that wasn't my fault, right? It's not because I tried running him over.
I decide to go investigate the scene of the crime, and I can confirm they're definitely dead.
So I can just take all of the goodies. Well, surely this wasn't the Wilkersons then, because at the end of the day, they would have taken the supplies. They're not that stupid.
Well, that was a very quick episode of CSI Trumbull Valley. Make sure to tune in next week to find out whether juggernauts are actually vegan. So I start heading back to base, but Lily radios in saying that there's zombie hordes approaching home. Well, you can cross that one off your list, you're welcome, people. Although as I get back to base, it seems a feral has been chasing me. I go with the whole reverse donut strat, but he latches on like an influencer who's dropping off. He's also able to pull me across the passenger side door and out of the car.
Wait, hang on. You ripped me out of the wrong side of the vehicle.
But thankfully Maya killed him with her fat ass. But that's fat spelt with a PH. Let's be respectful here, alright?
Aiden is scared. Well, he's a frickin' pussy then, isn't he? What's it to be scared of? It's only the zombie apocalypse, like.
I then drop off the rucksacks of the dead dudes. I can't believe we're called allies. It was literally the first time I met them. That Sergeant Eric Tan then the radio's in and tells us he's got a plan on how we can escape Trumbull. And on the way I clear out another zombie horde. Anything to keep Lily bloody Ritter off my back. But apparently that wasn't the only horde threatening our home.
Zombie horde nearing home. Ah, they'll be fine.
I carry on my journey to meet Sergeant Eric Tam, mainly thanks to my car being part monster truck. The sergeant's like, look, this wall has been put up by the army to keep everybody inside to try and contain the virus. It's the only way out of Trumbull. If we want to leave, we're gonna have to bring the thing down. But if you think about it, that's gotta be a disadvantage for when setting up a settlement. I get that you can use it as a bottleneck for an easy defensive position, but what if they arrive with a massive force and you've got no way of escaping? Anyway, I haven't spent a lot of time on this part of the map, so I decide to climb a tall tower to have a little look. I also get into a small accident while climbing down the tower.
Oh shit. Oh yeah, that was a hit. Gotta learn to roll with the knees, like, you know, zombie horde attacking home. I mean, they keep saying that, but nothing negative happens. So, to be honest, I think I'm just gonna ignore it.
I then meet the sergeant and a couple of his boys outside this warehouse, as we need some explosives to bring down that wall. However, the army was using this place to store all of this sick. This is almost certainly the ultra infestation.
Don't really want to waste a molly on that. Oh my god, it's actually mental.
I also really struggled to find the entrance.
Can I not get inside? Do I just have to kill them all?
That is how infestations work, but you should know that by now.
Oh, there we go.
Thankfully, juggernauts are easier to kill than in the second game. Well, that is as long as my gun doesn't glitch out.
Oh my god, why is my gun going off? You're wasting all my ammo! What the fuck?
That glitch quite literally took up 60% of my ammo and we haven't even got inside the building yet. So I make my way inside and take out a screamer and a bloater. But we're gonna have to take out every single zombie if we want to progress with this mission.
This hasn't gone as well as I was expecting.
A second screamer then bursts my eardrums, but that's alright because I'll just dropkick the fucker. Hasta la vista, bitch. Working together with the army dudes, we clear out the rest of the zombies. Although it does take me ages to find the last one as he's glitched in a wall. The sergeant's then like, nice one, but I can take it from here. Although he is just fixated on this fence, so I am skeptical.
Julissa is sad. Oh, poor thing.
Then seeing as we're surrounded by army stuff, I decide to get searching. And I find so much cool shit, it's unreal. Although cool shit tends to weigh a lot and that very quickly depletes my stamina.
How come they can climb over barbed wire and I can't?
Oh, I don't know, but maybe it's because you're worried about getting cut up and get infected and that. Whereas they're dead and infection is the worst of their concerns. It takes a long while, but I do manage to get back to my military truck. I also called for some scavengers to come finish off my looting for me. However, Marcus gets in trouble almost immediately after leaving the base.
Jesus Christ, Marcus. I thought you were one of the good ones.
But don't worry, I refuse to leave a man behind. Although Marcus almost certainly regrets asking for help.
Lost trust, reckless of driver.
But I'm calling bullshit on that one.
Might be the most trustworthy driver in the apocalypse.
To finish him off, we gotta go hand to hand. But that makes sense as Maya's female. And they often find it easier to finish that way. I finish off the final zombie, but to me it seems like Marcus is carrying a stitch or something. But that doesn't stop him from carrying on his looting journey on foot. Fair play to him, I guess he didn't want to waste any fuel and the car's back at base. Or maybe he's just not brave enough to drive it. Either way, my next stop is the Clio supply drop. And this one's attracted a juggernaut.
Now, last time I tried doing this with a juggernaut, it went horribly. No!
But at this point, I've worked out a solid strategy.
To thin all their other hordes and then deal with the jug separately. The feral's an issue. Okay, bloater.
So unfortunately, I've got to get out of the car earlier than I first intended. But that's alright. Good night, Juggernaut.
That's him dealt with. Only got 8 bullets left though.
So I try grabbing a handgun out of the boot of my truck.
Oh shit.
So I spray my final 8 bullets into the horde that's chasing me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, great. I'm forgetting how to use buttons. I'm panicking.
So I decide to go back to mowing them down with my car.
The car's the best bet. Stamina depleted. Run. Faster. Pop. Snacks, do something.
But now I'm back in the truck, it's barely an inconvenience. I can then search the Clio drop and collect all of its goodies. I can then drop them off back at base, and considering Maya's current condition, I decide to swap out to a different character.
We have an infestation right next to our home. Like, what are these guys doing when I'm out and about working my fucking arse off, you know?
I decide to try and clear it without much success.
Honestly, handguns might be the worst thing in this game.
But 8 bullets doesn't exactly last long.
Okay, this was a bad idea.
Instead, I run back inside and just hope that the problem goes away by itself. Ed then takes over, and never has a man been more heavily equipped for what's about to go down. It's time to bust down that wall and get the fuck out of Trumbull Valley. You might be wondering about the rest of the folks we've met along the way. The Wilkersons, the Goth Girl, the Ray Santoses. Well, tough titties, bitches. This is the apocalypse and only the fittest survive.
Hey Marcus, how are you doing, bro? I guess he's on the way to loot that thing I looted. Why you didn't want to take one of the spare cars, I have no idea.
We've already covered that, you moron. Knowing that blowing up a wall is probably going to attract a shit ton of zombies, I decide to try and play it smart by blocking the only entrance with the pickup. But the problem is that plan works out too well, as I can't cross the bridge to meet the sergeant. So I'm forced to back it up and create an opening. I can then jog across the bridge to meet the sergeant. It's also the first time I've seen Lily step out of the house, and we've also got 2 pieces of cannon fodder from our community. Old Eric lad is gonna set the charges, and all I've got to do is keep him alive long enough to do so.
I think I'm gonna start with the grenade launcher.
Now I'll be honest with you, I know absolutely fuck all about setting explosives. I'm sure you're all well shocked. But surely it's the detonator detonation that's loud, not the setting. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe zombies have got supersonic hearing.
Look, they can't get through. My plan is working.
But don't worry, nothing will stop me from using the grenade launcher. Unless I'm in the blast radius, that is. But that single zombie is distracting me from the task at hand.
Wait, hang on. I can see dots. No, my team are in trouble.
So I lay down some cover and fire and charge into action.
Get out my way, bro. Oh, shit, he took some hits there. Quite severe hits, I think.
But now is not the time to be worrying about the cannon fodder.
Never question my ability.
Although I'll be honest, I've seen better throws from an asthmatic quadriplegic.
Oh, that was a cool molly.
And with everything burning, I rain hellfire with the grenade launcher. In the great words of Gandalf the Grey, you shall not pass, you bastards.
Into one corner, please.
Damn it, this is taking longer than I thought.
That's alright, mate. That's alright. I'm having a whale of a time. Oh, shit.
I run back to defend my friends and you would never guess what arrived. A bloody juggernaut. Thankfully, a grenade launcher does incredible damage into him and barely anything into my mates. So much so, I even repeat it. Even a feral can't outrun my rage.
Wow, this gun really does make this game incredibly easy. Yeah, that's some rough looking wounds you got there, pal.
And I'm sure the comment section will agree that excessive amount of bleeding has nothing to do with me.
I'm taking several hits here.
Eric has then finished wiring up the explosives, but something's gone wrong as they won't detonate. He's gonna go take another look, but that is the exact opposite thing you should do if you've ever read a fireworks safety manual. Personally, I don't know why he didn't just ask me to use my last grenade launcher on it. I obviously would have been okay with that, but whatever floats your boat. And with my grenade launcher now completely emptied, it's like I've gone back to the bloody Stone Age.
This seems almost anticlimactic at this point. Maybe my grenade launcher worked too well, you know?
The sergeant's then like, look boys, we're in proper deep shit now. The detonator is completely fucked, and the only way we're detonating this bomb is if someone's willing to stand right next to it. And in a surprising twist of fate, after everything we've been through to get to this point, I put my hand up and ask if one of these two fancy a suicide mission. Lily's like, I guess it should be me. After all, she is dying and there's only a certain amount of that medication she needs left on planet Earth. But Sergeant Derek Tan is like, fuck that, am I having a woman die for me? Also, he's got a pretty serious cough, and the local Asda has completely run out of Gavonia.
You assholes better build a statue of me.
Mate, I've already forgotten your name. How am I supposed to build a statue of you?
And as a final moment of solidarity, I toss my final petrol bomb.
Does it really matter if I've lost trust? The dude's about to get blown up.
The wall detonates and the sergeant bloke hits the deck. Can I get an RIP Sergeant Eric Tan in the comment section? Lily leaves a tribute by a tree for some fucking reason. But with the wall down, we can see that the virus has not just affected Trumbull Valley, but it has spread to the entire world.